Pisces, how are you? Let's do a reading for your current energy, shall we? As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. Now, I sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really, really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out. Hit that like button. Blink. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really makes a difference to my channel. And I'd love to see my channel continue to grow. So that's how you can help me make that happen. All right, Pisces, let's see what is going on with all of my fishies. Grateful, thankful for the messages for the next 7 to 10 days. Grateful, thankful, always. All right, first card out for you is the 7 of Pentacles. And that is crossed by the 4 of Pentacles coming in reverse. So I'm wondering whether or not, you've started to build something, you put some energy into it. You see that it's starting to produce because you can pull this one coin out, and I think you still got enough. So if there is something that you have been wanting to purchase or buy, and you've been hanging on, not knowing whether or not you should or you shouldn't, this week you may continue to sit on the fence because here we do have the 2 of Pentacles. But I think you're getting closer to making a decision as to well, maybe I am going to move. Maybe I'm going to take the money and, and invest it into a house or, make a shift or make a change or, I mean, you're sitting here on the fence trying to figure out, whether or not it's time to take what you've worked for, what you've built up and now reinvest it or make some more moves or, make a shift or a change. Let's see, we do have some mental energy here, not knowing what to do because we have the 8 of Swords and I have the 10 of Swords. All right, I mean, enough is enough. We've got to make a decision here. All right, I need to decide whether or not I'm going to spend the money and I'm going to buy the house or I'm not going to buy the house. I just need to, get out of my head here with this 8 of Swords because this is you and your mental energies, right? And here we have the 10 of Swords at the base of what's going on. I mean, this is driving you crazy. Maybe you're not happy where you're at. Maybe things aren't working for you, and you need to get out of this situation, but you're feeling like I can't afford to do that. But let's look at the card that comes in your near future. We have the 6 of Pentacles. So we go from the 7, right? The 7 to the 4, back to the 6. All right, so, it's one of these things. I think there's a way for you to do this without you spending all of your money, maybe getting a little help from an exterior source, and that would help get you out of whatever pickle it is that you are in financially. Because here's this devil energy coming in reverse. So I feel like you're trying to fix something, all right? Maybe you're fixing something that went really, really south, all right? And now it's just like, I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to take things out, and it's driving you crazy, right? And here we have the 10 of Swords at the base of what's going on. Whatever it was, I feel as if now it needs to be repaired. And, you have to figure out how do I do that, because, I mean, here we've got the 5 of Coins coming out as the final outcome again. All right, so this issue of how do I fix this, because it could take a lot of money and it could take all my money and leave me out with nothing. So I think before you make any big decisions, you've got to figure out whether or not, one, maybe you have to look at getting some help so that, you don't spend all of the money you have. Because if you do that, then you're left out in the cold with nothing. But if I borrow some money, and maybe take out a second mortgage or something like that, that would get me out of this bind that I'm in. So this financial crunch is what you're really feeling this week. And, it's leaving you not feeling good about yourself, all right? But listen, don't beat yourself up, okay? These things happen. We find ourselves in pickles all the time. You can get out of this, all right? It's going to end. We can bring this to an end. You just need to really think about how you're going to bring this ending up. Meanwhile, I do see that with this Empress card here, it's reversed. You're just not feeling good about, how things went down. You're just not feeling good about, pretty much anything. I think, you're in a state of, I don't even want to call it depression. It's more of this mental kind of jail cell that you've put yourself in, that you need to just kind of figure out the solution and you'll feel a lot better. Now, we do have the moon card here as part of your extension. You know, so I think there's just, you knew that this was coming. You knew that it was going to reach a point where, you know, you might have to pull from your reserves that you don't have any reserves from. I mean, you just knew it. I mean, the moon card is very intuitive, and it's these deep-seated feelings and emotions and knowings that we have. And I think you knew that this was coming. I don't think you knew it was coming so quick. All right. So now the crunch is on, and it's just like, I have got to figure out how to handle this situation. Because I only got this much money. But if I just use this coin and then I borrow the rest, I might be okay. You know, so I just think, you know, this is one of these financial weeks that you're going to have to really, you know, see what are your options and what can you do to get you out of this position now that, you know, it's killing you. Right. Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups. Listen, you will find the answers, all right? We're talking about Pisces here. This is a Pisces energy. You know, the Queen, she's very quiet. She doesn't open up. She doesn't say a whole lot. I think this week, do your homework, all right? Anything that you can do to get out of this financial bind that you are in, because that's what I'm seeing, you know, like the crunch is real. And, you know, but once you get out of this with the Devil card coming in reversed, I think you will be home free. All right. So you're almost there. All right. You're going to have to make this decision. But maybe you have to clear up this whole financial thing first before you can actually move on your way, you know, and do the things you really want to do, because this is definitely priority, whatever this financial crunch is. Let's get one more card out here for you. Final card of advice for my Pisces on this financial issue that seems to be pending here. Yeah, I think, you know, it just, you're in this place with this Eight of Swords that, you know, it's just like you're questioning everything. All right, so don't go there. All right, let it be. All right, Ace of Cups, again, coming in reversed. Again, with this Empress, I just feel as if, you know, you've got to feel better about yourself. You know, you're in this situation, okay, you know, so now let's deal with it, all right? Let's not judge it. Let's not, you know, make comments about it. Let's just deal with it and move on so that you can feel better. Because I get this sense with, you know, a Pisces out there, they're just like not happy, you know, they're not happy with who they are and what they're doing and what their body is. They probably don't like the way the clothes fit. I mean, you name it. I mean, because there's a lot of mental energy here that you need to break away from. And you need to bring it to an end, all right? Because you are just fine the way you are. You're beautiful the way you are. Nobody needs to worry about whether you're heavy or you're skinny. You're perfect just as you are. You know, so, you know, let's pick yourself up and let's get you motivated, you know, to be able to make this shift and this change. Because, listen, this is a bad week. It's not a bad life, all right? So that's all we need to remember is just like, you're going to get out of this and you're going to find how to get out of this financial crunch. And look, it may require that, you know, you go without, you know, but it's okay, all right? Because if, you know, you going without for a little while solves the problem, then there's the solution, right? So this week, let's find the solution to this money crunch, all right? And then you'll be much happier and much better, and everybody around you will be, and then you'll feel better about yourself. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Pisces, all right? So listen, be well, be happy, be kind, and I'll see you all at another reading. Until then, bye now.